Thanks for staying with us on the program. Now, the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has said that the vision for Lagos is becoming a reality with the Lekki-Epe International Airport and the Lagos Food Systems and Logistics Hub in Epe. And this comes as the government signs a partnership with the African Import-Export Bank, Afrexim, and another bank for an investment of $1.352 billion investment in long-term infrastructure projects in the state. And that includes the Fourth Mainland Bridge. Now, some people have said that this is an unnecessary investment at this time, but others say that this will help, especially in terms of movement and transportation in Lagos State, knowing that there's so many people in Lagos and it looks like the roads at this point are not enough. But anyways, joining us to have this conversation, first joining me in the studio is Mr. Razaq Olokooba, Public Affairs Analyst. Thank you so much, Mr. Olokooba, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. We also have joining us Dr. Dayo Kayode, SocioPolitical Technocrat from Lagos. Thank you, Dr. Dayo Kayode, for joining us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure being with you this afternoon. Good afternoon, Razaq Olokooba.
My dear brother, good afternoon. How's it been?
Yeah,
all right.
Fine.
Okay, so in light of explaining pleasantries, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Olokooba. Now, this is coming at a time when Nigeria is suffering some economic challenges, inheriting a lot of debt, burdening, and trying to restructure. What do you think about this initiative of introducing and working on the construction of the Fourth Mainland Bridge at this time?
Well, no matter what you are going through as a state, as a nation, the rest of the world will not wait for you. And that is why you must tag along. When it comes to infrastructural development, if you want your country to be at par with the rest of the world, you must not have deficits. Otherwise, you are going to mix out in the movement and the exodus towards a developed world. In Africa, the three most developed economy in states and city is Johannesburg, Cairo, and Lagos. The essential ingredient that keeps Lagos as one of the top three in Africa is infrastructure. And if you have to train your child, either you have the capacity or not, you must seek for conventional or unconventional. Unconventional means you may have to borrow to educate your children because his age mate will not be waiting for him. The time you're supposed to be in primary school, you must seek for any means to train him. You can't have deficit in terms of the knowledge you must acquire at certain age to certain age, so that when production time comes, you must be in production line. That goes for state and countries too. When you are supposed to ease the traffic of ever-growing population of Lagos, you must not wait at such a time when you think the economic is better. There's no time in the world where, except in Nigeria, that go and declare that we have money and we don't know how to spend it on. The ever-growing population, as a chartered public administrator, new challenges emerge every day. And what part of the challenge that's emerged every day is the infrastructure that is necessary to create a balance for how people will move. When you slow down movement of people, you are slowing down your production and you are slowing down your economy. So for Lagos, particularly a state that have a capacity to habitate 15 to 20 million people, now going very close to 30 million, the government of such a city should not sleep at all. You must be thinking from the future. So the bridge is coming at the right time. It's been on for a long time. My own company with my foreign partners proposed to Fashola's government then. We were proposed 120 billion naira that time. The combined company was supposed to put down 40 billion. HSBC came on board to give us 40 billion that time. And Lagos State government was also made to provide equity contribution of land and other things that comes from government direction. But it didn't work out. Not because they are not willing to, but because challenges emerge for Lagos State. We have an unwilling federal government who has not recognized the need to support Lagos ever-growing population. So for someone to bring it on board now, I just hope that is going to have every support that it desires, particularly from Lagosians, who is going to be the end user of the bridge. And don't forget that the bridge we are not talking about, it's just not the bridge. There are habitations that must be enhanced in that direction. Then there are Disney World, hotels, facility to attract people to pass through that. So when people hear Fourth Mainland Bridge, it's not essentially about the bridge alone. It's also about opening up habitation and neighborhood in that direction. So when you have issues like coming on board, what we need to do as a people is to offer necessary support and assistance to the federal government. I want to call on federal government that here is a time for you to lend the support. Right. When you look at Johannesburg and Cairo, the federal government in those countries give necessary support. It's only in Nigeria there's no need why cities like Lagos should not be giving the required support.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Olokooba, for that. Thank you. I think I'm going to ask Dr. Kayode, do you share the same thoughts with Mr. Olokooba?
I only share one thought with him as regards the three developed economy in Africa, as regards South Africa, Johannesburg, Cairo, and Lagos. Incidentally, I live in Lagos. I've been to Johannesburg before now, and I've been to Cairo. And I saw the kind of development they're talking about there. Because when you talk about economic development, it is beyond construction of bridges here and there. Economic development cannot be based on building of bridges and construction of roads alone while people are hungry, while people are not having jobs at hand to do, when people are not having or are not living sustainably according to the dictates of United Nations, of which we are all also signatory to such a charter. What do I mean? Look at the old money that is about to be spent on the Fourth Mainland Bridge. He was talking about Fourth Mainland Bridge. He was talking about another international airport around Lekki axis. And he was talking about one harbor somewhere. Unfortunately, we have a lot of moribund industries in Lagos that nobody has been talking about. Look at Cocoa Industry Limited at around Akilo. It belongs to Odua group of companies, and of which Lagos State is part of. Why hasn't Lagos State used some money to buy all the shares of that CIL and ensure that that CIL is operational? I could remember in those days whereby we take the products of CIL in terms of, I think, what's the name again? Overtil or something like that from that CIL. We could see a lot of cocoa processing activities for export going on there. So what is happening to Lagos State? Why is he not looking at that?
So,
now,
Dr. Kayode,
listen, you should also say you are coming up with another airport. What happens to the one at Muritala Mohammed Airport? It's within Lagos. Why don't you enhance that one and then make it more effective?
Okay, but
in terms of.
Yes, but would you agree that the cities that were earlier mentioned, Johannesburg and Cairo, got to where they are majorly because of these constructions that you're seeing that you're talking about? Because you did say that it's not just about the constructions.
What
but
I'm saying is it's beyond construction. It's beyond construction. It is inclusive of making available economic activities for the people.
All right, apologies, Dr. Kayode. Mr. Olokooba wants to say something.
No, let me finish. You know, I didn't interrupt when he was giving his position.
Okay, that's fine.
I didn't interrupt him.
That's fine.
Let me finish up. You see, when you go to Johannesburg and you go to Cairo, aside from the infrastructural development, you see a lot of economic activities going on in terms of industries, in terms of even people doing work on their own. I just read this morning as regards a lady that was refused employment with South African Airways, sometimes in year 2000, 2002, thereabout. Now she's having an airline of her own. What happened? Because there was an enabling environment. An enabling environment, unlike what we are now having here. I'm not saying government should not build Fourth Mainland Bridge. I'm not saying, but why? Okay, look at what happened in Cross River. Look, let me give you an example of Rivers State. When Chike was, what's his name again? Wike was there for 8 years. He was busy constructing flyover bridges and roads and all that, leaving behind the Shanghai Farm Settlement. And the Shanghai Farm Settlement, I have already studied that settlement. I knew what that settlement would have been bringing to Rivers State. Now, all the money that you have used to construct flyover bridges and all that, are you going to get those money back? Are you going to get those money back? And you are borrowing all this money here and there. Who pay for that money? With high interest rates. Who pay for that money? I'm not saying you shouldn't borrow money. But when you're borrowing money, put it in a more effective economic way. That thing you spend it upon will be able to pay back within a short while.
Dr. Kayode, because of our time. All right, because of our time, we want to take reactions from Mr. Olokooba now. Then we'll come back to you.
Well, thank you very much. I hope my colleague remembers that he's not talking about federal government here. And you cannot hold Lagos state government responsible for responsibility that is meant to be performed by federal government. Job creation and how to create an enabling environment for all the people in Nigeria. You can't hold Lagos state government responsible for. In fact, instead of having one complaint or the other about Lagos, you should be thanking Lagos. Lagos is oversaturated. Nobody invites anybody, including me, to come to Lagos. But it's about Lagos. Lagos is the model that is designed, which other states are also borrowing from, that all of us are coming to live in Lagos for. We should give it to Lagos. That's one. Two is that South Africa gives tremendous support to Johannesburg. It's on record. In Cairo, if you go to Cairo, go and look at the relationship between the federal government and of Egypt and Cairo. As far back as 30 years ago, when Shagari was there, Lagos has been planning a metro line. But Shagari didn't allow him to do so. We don't have the required support that Lagos deserves. And that is why Lagos keep making the list of the 3 most cosmopolitan cities, because the rating institution look at the challenges that Lagos is having. And Lagos kept striving. Looking at the record of Lagos state government today in Nigeria, it has more credibility and capacity to borrow and pay back, even more than federal government. If you look at a cash flow of Lagos State, there's no bank that won't want to trade with Lagos. And all the money, that's anti-intellectualism. Let me finish. Go and check, is there on record? The recent rating that was done is in the media that few states in Nigeria are borrowing and have capacity to pay, and they are the few states that is growing economically. Lagos is one of those 5 states. Government must always, we are running a capitalist economy where it is a borrowing economy. So the collaboration Lagos state government is having with the foreign partner is in line, because we run the capital. And the current decimal of a capitalist economy is profit. Somebody who brought their money to your country must make profit. So to answer your question, that where it's going to be told, that place is going to be told. I am not speaking for the government. I'm speaking as an expert in that direction. That it will be told, and that's the standard everywhere in the world. The owner of the money will get their money back. And it is not going to be only the bridge. There are a lot of things that is a complete package. Now, the land size of Lagos, if you know the land size of Lagos, in fact, you encourage Lagos to start ejecting a lot of people, maybe me, out of Lagos. Lagos has the smallest land mass in Nigeria, and it has the highest population. It takes someone who understands how to build city to do what government has been doing since 1990 date. If they don't know what they are doing, that's why this government didn't get it right when they say there's a Lagos dream. Immediately Fourth Mainland Bridge is coming, roads in the axis of Ajah axis was expanded so that the inflow of vehicle in that direction can be accommodated. So what I'm saying in essence is that you cannot have a state with this kind of population and you'll be talking about bridges. Go to all major cities in the world. What they are doing, the rate at which they are constructing bridges, is even they even slow down. There should be bridge everywhere interconnected because we are talking about 25 million people on this small parcel of land. What do you expect people? How do you expect people to pass? And production time is during the day. We don't run night economy in Nigeria. Production time is during the day. When your traffic slows down, you slow down your economy, and that is why you must find every means, either under the ground, through the water, or through the bridges. People must keep moving. The more your people move, the more your economy move.
All right.
If your economy is stagnated for 6 hours, 3 hours to your office, 3 hours back, you are wasting production time.
Okay.
And that's what you are suggesting.
Okay, Mr. Olokooba.
That people should waste production time in traffic instead of bridges.
Please let's take Dr. Kayode's reaction.
Oh, okay.
Now, what I'm saying here is this. I'm not saying, yes, you shouldn't build bridges, you shouldn't construct roads or whatever. But what I'm saying is preference should be given to how do you pay this money back, number one. Number two, preference should be given to how to improve industrial activities of the people. Because when you are building bridges, you are building roads, you are constructing roads, and people are not having where to earn their living. Who are going to use those bridges and the roads?
All right, very quickly,
Again,
let me butt in there, Dr. Dayo Kayode.
Look at what is happening in a computer village. Look at what is happening in computer village.
Right.
If money is being pumped to those people in that computer village, do you know how much money will be coming to Lagos State in terms of manufacturing of electronics? If you pump in money there, rather we have not been giving those people even enough time to settle down to do their business.
Dr. Kayode, we're running out of time. So I just want to quickly ask a question. I just want to quickly ask you a question, Dr. Kayode. Now, we understand that you both are saying it from a perspective of, okay, Lagos can do better, but, there's the perspective of trying to align with the ever-growing population, which Mr. Olokooba is talking about. I also do understand the aspect of the population itself, what are they doing, industrial ability and all of that. But the question is, very quickly, what would be your counter suggestion to tackling the growing population in Lagos State? If these bridges are not built, what else can be done by the government? Because we know that we have some industrial issues to be settled, but it's still fact that the population is growing.
I like that. Let me give you instances. For instance, there are a lot of people that comes from Songo through Abule Egba to go and work in Ikeja, to go and work in Lagos. Why? Because Ikeja has been developed industrially. Lagos Island have been developed industrially. Why don't you develop somewhere like Ifakojayi? There is no economic activities happening in Ifakojayi. Somewhere like Abule Egba down to Lolu. Develop that place, bring in a lot of these things there for people to be working there. That means people will not be traveling all the way from Songo to Ikeja. That is an area. Go to Isolo, do the same thing there. Go to Ikorodu, do the same thing there. It will now restrict the travel time and the travel distance of people from their residences, of which Olokooba is talking about now. Yes, I'm not saying you shouldn't build bridges or whatever, but imagine all our governors, go and do a cost analysis. What they do is to build bridges and roads. Imagine a small state now trying to say wants to build about 8 bridges in that state, 8 flyovers in that state. What does it need it for? You don't need it.
Can we?
All right, your point is duly noted, Dr. Dayo
Can
Kayode.
we?
Your point is noted, Dr. Dayo. But because of our time, I would like to take
I don't know.
Dr. Dayo, thank you so much. Your point is noted. Because of our time, I would like to take the final reaction from Mr. Razaq Olokooba on this matter.
Thank you very much.
Very quickly, Mr. Razaq.
I think we should. I think we should be careful.
Dr. Dayo, please hold on.
I think we should be very careful. The way we place responsibility before our government, we must understand the capacity of both your state and the federal government. The state already has 52% of the economy of the nation. I say it has not done enough. Are there not other states in Nigeria? When we develop the developmental agenda for Western Nigeria, where other states are supposed to tap into the peculiar economic advantage they have with Lagos, they didn't do so. And that's the direction I think, Doctor, my friend, should be talking about. You can't be blaming Lagos State government for neighboring states refusing to tap into the economy of Lagos. For instance, there can be a railway arrangement where people can work in Lagos and sleep in Abeokuta. They didn't tap into it. We established it as an organization, and we sell it to all the governors. They didn't want to do it. And Lagos is not only talking about infrastructure. In terms of interventions for the youth, Lagos has close to 30 civic engagement centers across Lagos where people can learn employment. On environment, the money spent by Lagos State government to take care of our refuse per day is also what I'm saying in essence that there's even distribution of responsibility from Lagos State government to all sectors. So when it is time for people to talk about good roads, don't deny them. Don't deny the people of Lagos full flow from one end to the other. Economy is not built in such a way that you must work where you live. The economy is not, because there are peculiarities. If I'm a pilot, why must I live around where aeroplane fly? I have listened to aeroplane 72 hours of my life. I want to move away from that.
Okay.
So what I'm saying in essence is that we should understand what is coming. And if you don't understand what is coming, we will be confusing ourselves.
Okay.
Good governance is only about government. It's also about the people.
All right, Mr. Olokooba, thank you so much. We have run completely out of time. I really would have loved for us to extend this conversation and have both inputs comprehensively discussed. But because of our time, we won't be able to continue that. Hopefully, we'll have this conversation again. But I want to say a big thank you to you, Mr. Razaq Olokooba, a public affairs analyst in the studio. And of course, Dr. Dayo Kayode, SocioPolitical Technocrat, joining us in Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for being here. And we understand that you're both speaking from a perspective of wanting Lagos and Nigeria as a whole to get better. We appreciate your time with us on the show.